What's up, YouTube? We're back once again with another sport topic, and today we're going to talk some football, Houston Texans football. Today we're going to talk about quarterback C.J. Stroud and how he got to be Offensive Player of the Month. Right? We're going to break it down. Before we get in there, like I've been telling you before, man, if you're liking the content, make sure you're liking the channel. Make sure you're watching all the videos, you comment on all the videos, you liking all the videos, you sharing all the videos on all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, any type of social media platform you use. Make sure you share on the same social media platforms. Also, follow me on social media as well. The link in the description below. We're still in the race to get to 6,000 subscribers. You know what that means. I need you to tell a friend, so they can tell another friend, so they can tell some more friends, so they can tell some more friends and put them on game with the channel. I still need to get to 6,000 subscribers, and I can't do it without y'all. So I need y'all to like, share, subscribe, and put people on game with the channel so we get the channel growing and growing and growing and growing. I really, really appreciate that. Now, since the game on Sunday, I did some research. I'm like, you know what? CJ has had an incredible month. Has been having an incredible month this month, and like November, December are the best months for quarterbacks for those type of guys, those franchise quarterbacks. Like I think like Tom Brady had went like undefeated in the month of November for like a long time. Like a stretch of years went undefeated in the month of November. Like these are the prime months. This is when the cream of the crop and the top teams start coming out. Those Super Bowl contenders start coming out in the month of November, and especially in the month of December, getting into the January and the playoffs and things like that. So we're seeing a prime quarterback playing at a prime time level right now in the month of November. And I'm like, I sit back and I crunch the numbers. I'm like, you know what? C.J. Stroud should definitely be Player of the Month. I know, like, to get Player of the Week, you have to win that week to get Player of the Week. You don't have that situation with Player of the Month because it goes throughout the whole body of work you did for that month. So let's break down what C.J. Stroud has done in the month of November, one of the prime months. So this first game in the month of November, November 5th versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers, threw for 470 yards, 71.4 completion percentage, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, a quarterback rating of 147.8. Next game, November 12th versus Cincinnati Bengals, threw for 356 yards, now 59 completion percentage, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, a touchdown on the ground, and had a quarterback rating of 87.1. The next game, November 19th versus Arizona Cardinals, threw 336 yards, a completion percentage of 73%, was a high completion percentage in that game, which is actually his highs of the month. Two touchdowns, 3 picks, a quarterback rating of 85. Now kind of, especially with that high completion percentage, tells you that those interceptions weren't just bad decisions. It was just, just miscues and things like that. Then this last week, November 26th versus Jacksonville Jaguars, 304 yards, a 72 completion percentage, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, a touchdown on the ground, and had a quarterback rating of 116. So this is his record for the month. He threw for 1,466 yards, a complete percentage of 68%, 10 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, a quarterback rating of 108.9, rushed for 54 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, and most importantly, had a record of 3-1 in the month of November. So when you look at those numbers there, like that's every month, every game this month, he threw for over 400 yards. Had, except for one game, had over a 70% completion percentage, talking about 71, 73, and 72 completion percentage. He scored multiple times in every game, threw 5 touchdowns the first one, ran for a touchdown and threw a touchdown in the second one, threw for 2 touchdowns in the third one, threw for 2 touchdowns and rushed for another touchdown in the last one, the fourth one. So these are what you're seeing with your quarterback C.J. Stroud in the month of November, and because of that, I feel like he should be the AFC Player of the Month. I know people have, Jalen Hurts been balling too, and I think the Eagles might be undefeated in the month of November. But this is the thing. They have AFC and they have NFC. So he could be NFC Player of the Month for the month of November. But C.J. Stroud needs to be AFC Offensive Player of the Month for the month of November. I just laid out for it that no one else has stats like that. No one else is doing what he's doing. Even though this is his worst month of throwing interceptions, he threw 2 interceptions going into this month, and then end up throwing. He threw 1 interception going into this month. Ended up throwing 4 interceptions all together in this month, and 3 in one game. And like I said, that was an aberration because you've seen what he did this past week against Jacksonville, was able to take care of the football with ease and put his team in position to win. Should have been 4-0 if you had a better field goal kicker and you were able to make the field goal in the first half. And in that situation at the end of the game, possibly you put yourself in the best situation. And I kind of put some of that on Bobby Slowick. I feel like on that 3rd and 12, what they should have done. What the Texans should have done in that 3rd and 12 was do a screen to Nico Collins, like, hey, get a screen and tell Nico, hey, get at least 5 yards and go out of bounds because we don't have a timeout. Because that's part of one of the things that really hurt us going to that drive is that you had to use a timeout because you had 12 men on the field in that punt return. You had 12 minutes, so you had to waste a timeout. I know some people say, "Oh, you should have just took the penalty." Well, that would have gave Jacksonville probably 4th and 2, and if Jacksonville decides to go for it or kick a field goal in the situation, the game could possibly be over right then and there anyway. So that's the reason why DeMeco's called timeout. I understood why he called time. He made the right decision. He should just never been put in that situation because if you give C.J. Stroud 3 minutes with 2 timeouts plus a 2-minute warning, things are different. Now again, C.J. shouldn't have took those sacks. Some of that has to do with the offensive line. Some of that has to do with C.J. Stroud trying to extend the play. Some of it got to do with the receivers not getting open. That's part of the reason why he had to try to extend plays and hold on to the ball so long because the guys were not getting open in that second half. But also, 0 targets to Tank Dell. I think that's a Bobby Slowick and a C.J. Stroud issue. They need to come back and get that fixed. Or why you didn't target. It wasn't that you didn't. It wasn't like he didn't get any catches. He didn't get any targets in the second half. But again, guys wasn't getting open. So again, I know they're going to be watching the film. They're going to see it, break that down. It's a lot of things. Even though we can sit up here, we can talk about the rest, and the rest were horrible in that game. Like I said, I think the secondary probably played one of their worst games. Offensive line clearly played his worst game of the season. I know he might have more sacks in other games, like in week 1 and week 2. I feel like this game, the offensive line was even worse. I feel like the offensive line played worse in this game, respectively to those other 2 games at the beginning of the season, even though they gave up more sacks. It was how the sacks end up, how the sacks cost you. You had 2 sacks on that final drive that were real backbreakers, especially that last sack that put you in, I think it was like 2nd and 19. You get some yards and you end up getting 3rd and 12. Again, it should have told CJ to do a screen to Nico. Nico get 5 yards and get out of bounds because if you get 5 more yards, that field goal, if it's the exact same kick, it goes in. We're talking about going to overtime. And nobody had doubt in that building that when we got that football back that we was going to win the game. Like everybody, because everybody that was in my section, we all knew that the Texans, that C.J. Stroud was going to lead us down there and we were going to win that football game. So some other miscues, I think, like I said, they're going to get that straight away. They're going to get to the drawing board. They're going to get that fixed and rectified. But when you have a guy like that, like I said, playing at that level, especially in these months, we're not talking about in the beginning of the season, when everybody's trying to work out kinks and, everybody starts to a high start, like other quarterbacks in the same conference. They start to a high start and some of their plays starting to dip a little bit. Actually, a couple of them, honestly. We're talking about in the prime months. November, December. Now, we about to creep into December, and it's about to get real. It's about to get really real. This next month is going to be one of the most important months, if not the most important month in franchise history when we talk about in a regular season. We're talking about regular season. We're not talking about importance as far as another playoffs and obviously drafts and things like that. We're talking about throughout a regular season. These next couple of games, these next slew of games are going to be that. They're definitely going to be there because you can't have you can't stub your toe, you can't have no missteps. You have to do your job and you got to get things going. And we have a quarterback playing like that in the beginning of the prime months, the 2 prime months, November and December, because that leads you into the playoffs. This is when the good teams start separating themselves. The good players, the elite players, the all-pro players, the Hall of Famers, the MVPs, they start to separate themselves from everybody else. They start separating themselves from the pack. So it's clear that's a good team. That's a good head coach. That's a good quarterback. That's a great quarterback. Things like that. That's a good defense. That's a great defense. That's when they start separating in these type of months. That's when they start separating. We're starting to see it right now because, like I said, you look at the level of play: 470 yards, 356 yards, 336 yards, 304 yards, and none of these yards are garbage time stats. These are not just padding the stats. For one, you're 3-1, and you're 3-1. You're 3-1. You needed every single yard in every one of these games. If CJ was a yard short, they would have lost the game. You throwing 5 touchdowns, 1 touchdown but rush for another one, 2 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. When you have a complete percentage of 71.4, 73, 72. Now you do have one with a 59. You do have a quarterback rating with an 85. You do have a quarterback rating with an 87. But you have a quarterback rating of 147.8, and you have another one with 116. Like when you're doing things like that, that right there shows you the type of level in which you're doing it and how things are going, and that you have a franchise guy. And then we can sit up and talk about the numbers all day. Like CJ has been getting his flowers all year long, and everybody knows the type of quarterback that we have right now, and that everything is put in place, and everything is being in front. But he definitely should be the player of the month, in my personal opinion. I don't know nobody else in this month that has numbers even close to that, let alone better than that. So if somebody's not the player of the month, does not name Cole Stroud the fourth for the AFC for the month of November 2023, I really want to know what they did. I really need to know exactly what they did. Really, I really need to know what they did, because when I look at those numbers right there, that boy balling. Just straight up. Just straight up. That boy was on the field acting a damn donkey. Like, that boy was out there balling, man. Like, that boy been out there balling this whole month, man. Like, come on, man. Like, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. And I think he still should be in the MVP conversation. I know it's a little bit different because, like I say, now you're more likely going to end up being in the wild card. You're not going to be able to get a division because now you're 2 games back of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and you have to have a better record than them because y'all split. You no longer have the tiebreaker. Y'all split, and they have a better divisional record than you. They've only lost 1 divisional game. That's you. You've lost 2 now. You lost to them, and you also lost to the Colts at the end of the season. So you have to. The best thing you could do is tie division record with them as well. So you tie division record with them and tie head-to-head to them. So you really got to have a better record than Jacksonville. I know it's probably another mathematical equation for the Texans to get in as the division leader. And like I said, I'm going to break that down in another video of exactly what's the actual mathematical equations and things like that. But all in all, like I said, all in all, that boy been out here clowning all year long, and especially in this past month, he needs to be the player of the month. Well, shout out, he got to be the AFC Player of the Month. Like, subscribe if you haven't, comment below if you haven't, click that bell, get more videos. I holla.